How can you become more confident? How can you become the assertive, strong person on the inside that you really want to be, who carries certainty into the situations in your life where you want to perform at your absolute best? This is a question that I had when I was young growing up, and this was something that I think a lot of people, it is something that a lot of people really want to become better at, whether they're going for a job interview, or they're asking for a promotion, or they're going in and they're presenting in front of their peers at work, or their boss, or that executive team. Confidence really comes from a deliberate practice every day. That's the first thing I'm going to share with you. And in this video, I'm going to share with you just the best tips on becoming more confident and the principles on becoming more confident. There's a lot, about 90% of the stuff I've seen on this topic on YouTube and different channels, different blogs, it's not even worth the paper that it's written on. So I really wanted to channel the best ideas to developing core confidence, becoming more assertive and more strong at your core, so you can really take advantage of those situations in life where confidence really is an essential in those situations. So just to get into this here, developing core confidence, there's 3 parts to this, okay? And I'll split it this way. If we were to make a circle, I'll put it like this, and we'll just say that there's 3 pieces to this, okay? And you'll have to forgive my drawing abilities here, but let's just say that's the middle. Confidence, there's 3 parts to this, okay? And I'll put this up here. And if anyone ever tells you, well, I have a silver bullet and you're just going to be more confident if you do this one thing, run the other way, because there's 3 different parts to really becoming confident. And there's the mind, there's body, and there's also the environment that you're in. Okay, and I'm not going to get too philosophical here, but I just want to start off with this. What's taking place in your mind in different situations and the thoughts that are running through your head will affect your ability to project confidence and feel confident. Confidence is really, when someone says to me, I want to feel more confident, I want to be more confident, it's really them saying, I want to have a different feeling taking place on the inside of me so that I can be more effective in the area outside of me, right? That's really what they're saying. And so the mind is a big part. If you've got thoughts that are running through your head that are anything opposite of confident and assertive and strong, if you're saying, well, I'm weak and I can't do this and different things like that, that can instantly cripple you when it comes to being confident. So the mind is part of this. The other part of this, the second part, is your body. If you're not feeling physically strong in your body because you're not working out and you're not taking good care of your body and you're drinking too much alcohol or whatever, if you're not treating your body right and your body isn't in optimum health, then it becomes pretty hard to become confident when you need to be. If you want your body to perform at peak levels, you have to really treat it well. So that is the second part. And the environment, that is the third part. And I know this area looks a little bit bigger down here, but the environment there's 3 equal parts. The environment really deals with your life and the situations that you're in on a day-to-day basis, and how well you manage your life, and how good you are with managing the tasks that you have to go through each day, and how much control you have over your time. So these are the 3 parts, and I'll go into each of these. And the first one we're going to start out here is body, okay? Now, when it comes to your body, you're going to be able to be confident. You can't be weak in your body. I mean, you can, in theory, if you've got a very strong mind and you know how to communicate really well with your body. But the body is number one. And when it comes to confidence and the body, and I speak with people all the time. I've spoken with so many different vice presidents and CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, from Nike to Sony to Apple, and there's a lot of different ones up there. Facebook, people who are at the top of their game, very confident people, very great communicators, excellent communicators, I should say. They treat their bodies well, and in addition to that, they know how to use their body to send the right signals. Okay, so what I want you to do is go out there and take a look at people like Donald Trump, Barack Obama, anybody in the political circle, or if you go on to, let's say, CNN and you watch the anchors on there, excuse me, they know how to send the right signals in the way they're gesturing, in the way that they're placing their hands, in the way that they're holding and positioning their body. Confidence really comes through movement, and if you're moving your body in the right ways, you're going to be more confident, as opposed to if you're just standing there totally still with your hands at your sides, slouched over. There's a lot of emphasis on just the body and how you're using the body to send off the right signals and exude the right energy. You'll notice Donald Trump, Barack Obama, whenever they're sitting down, they usually steeple their hands like this, or they're interlacing their hands in what's called steepling. This is an alternate version of steepling. This is one, this is a second, this would be a third, this is a fourth. There's so many different ways that they sit there and they keep their hands like this, or if they're speaking, they'll sometimes put up their hand like this, or they'll put both of their hands up like this to convey their message effectively. So a lot of what confidence is effectively using your body to communicate your message to your audience. And that is the way that a lot of people are perceived as having confidence. Now, if you're not that well versed in using your body to communicate, effective messages, this is something you'll want to work on. Everybody who's trained in politics, any politician, has been trained in how to use their body to send effective messages and communicate effectively, because they know that their audience, whether it's they're talking to a corporation, or they're talking to a constituent in their jurisdiction, or their representative territory, their ability to communicate their message to their audience in an effective way and so that it's believable is critical. So they are masters in basically communicating effectively with their bodies, and that is so important to projecting confidence. And they are masters at projecting confidence. Take a look at even Hillary Clinton. I'm throwing out a lot of political figures because these people are absolute masters of communicating their message in a believable and authentic way. And so that's probably half of what it comes down to when it comes to the body. The other half of it is taking care of your body. Okay? So let's say you're going into a job interview, or you're going for promotion, or you're going in to present in front of a board at your company. Your ability to take care of your body that night before and that week before is going to be critical. Putting an extra hour or two in to get sleep at night. Taking an hour to get that exercise in each day. So sleep, exercise. I recommend that men actually do sprints. If you're doing sprints, you're releasing testosterone into your body. They're called HIIT sessions, high intensity training intervals is what they are. They call them. I think it's called HIIT. You can look into that. But if you're not working out and you're in environments where you're having to perform at your best every day, let's say you work in a Fortune 500 company, if you're not doing exercise routinely to flush out the stress, flush out the lactic acid, that's just going to build up in your body. It's going to build up and affect your nerves. And if your nerves are bouncing off the walls, it's hard to project confidence. So this is something I do deliberately, is I do exercise and I do sprints, and it's essential to performing at your best. So these are some of the things that it comes down to with your body, is gesturing. That is so important to conveying an effective message. And you being able to use your hands, being able to just project that confidence. And a lot of this comes through the way that you use your body. Harvard recently did a study where they showed that, you can look this up, I'll put it up here, the Harvard study, people who actually strike a power pose and hold that for about 30 seconds are about 20% more confident because of that. And it comes down to your physiology, your body, how you're using your body. And I'm just holding a power pose here, but what it does is it flushes out and it flushes out hormones in your body, the testosterone that makes you more confident. So this is a proven science at this point. Using your body to project the right messages. You see me doing that there. It makes me feel more confident. So confidence, a lot of people say, how do I become more confident? They want that feeling. The quickest way is to use your body to crush it. That's it. Whether you're snapping, whether you're moving your body in the way that I just did, these are all different ways that you can take up more space, project more confidence, and get yourself feeling more certain in the situations that you're in. Now, if I was up here right now giving this presentation and I was just like this the entire time with my hands at my sides, you can instantly see that there's a different dynamic to that. And so you want to pull a lot of confidence, a lot of certainty into yourself, into your core, and you do that by using your body. So look up whoever your favorite politician is, look up pictures of them, look up different interviews that they've done. See how they control their body. See how they're giving their message. See the gestures that they're making, the positioning of their hands, the steepling that they're doing. This is all critical when it comes to projecting confidence and sending out a confident message that is believable. So that is number one. Second is the mind. Okay? So whatever you're holding in your mind or allowing to run through your mind is going to affect the way that you perform. So if you sit there and you say, you're in an interview, for instance, and you're saying, well, if you're thinking, oh my gosh, I just hope I don't mess this up or whatever, that's not what you should be thinking in any situation like that. If anything, you should be saying, I'm confident, I know what I'm doing, I'm assertive, and running that through your head. Because whatever is happening on the inside in your mind is going to show some effect and show some of that on the outside. Basically, whatever you're thinking, it's painted all over your face. So you need to control your thoughts. Another thing you can do is actively think. Actively think positive thoughts. I encourage people, no matter what line of work you're in, is to meditate. Find a meditation teacher to get that kind of clarity in your mind. That's what meditation does, whether you sit in your room for 30 minutes or 20 minutes or 15 minutes a day and just allow yourself to sit in silence. That can be incredibly clarifying to the mind and allow you to silence the noise. If you've got a lot of chit-chat, you find it hard to silence your own mind, start meditating. Take this up as a practice, find a good meditation teacher. But the ability to control what's taking place inside of you is critical to confidence. Because if you've got a lot of thoughts that are the opposite of confidence, it becomes hard and challenging to be confident. Whereas if you can sit there and tell yourself in an instant, I'm very confident, I am certain, I'm strong, I'm powerful, I am bold. That is something that I do all the time. When I go into a situation and I'm like, yeah, I got to get it together. Boom. I am strong, I am powerful, I am bold. I say that in my own head, and that gives me more confidence to project myself. And let me tell you this. I've sat down with vice presidents and CEOs from top corporations. I've sat down with professional athletes, talked with professional athletes. Not everybody is confident all the time. So sometimes people are just people. No matter if they're at the top of their game, top of their industry, they're a billionaire, they're a multimillionaire. I've sat down and had conversations with billionaires. These people, they feel the same feelings, they feel the same emotions. Everybody feels the same feelings of nervousness or uncertainty at times. And typically, it's because in that moment, they're not managing their body or their mind effectively, or they're not managing their environment effectively and what's going on in their day. So I'll get to environment here in a second, but these are all true for all people. And no one is 100% confident all the time. This is something that you have to do deliberately every day. You have to be taking care of your body. You need to be controlling how you use your body in the different situations that you're in. You have to be thinking your own thoughts as opposed to letting, garbage run through your mind, which happens to people. That happened to me a lot back when I was in college, listening to a lot of pop music on the radio. That's why I don't do that anymore. But you need to actively think your own thoughts and meditate. So get your mind right, get your mindset right. And one thing I will tell you that I now do daily is when I get up in the morning to center my mind, I write down my goals that I have for my life. That's short-term and long-term goals. So I write down my goals every single morning, and as a result of that, I get instantly clear on my targets. Okay? Because if you don't know where you're headed in life, you're not going to feel very confident. I can guarantee that. So if you write down your goals each and every day, and you have that target, you know where you're headed. You're going to feel a lot more confident knowing where you're going and having your mind focus on what you need to do. Because there's a lot of people who start their day and they don't even know, they don't have any goals, they don't have any idea of where they're heading, and they just kind of go like, well, I'm just going to go and do something today. I mean, how confident is someone going to feel if they have no direction? And that's what a lot of people say they're after. I want to have that confidence, which is really saying, you know where you're going, you know what you're doing, and the people who know where they're going and they have a clear agenda for that day, and that I'm kind of getting into environment here, these are the people that have the confidence. So just to get into environment a little bit, and that's what I'm starting here, so let's just get into it. Confidence and environment. This is the environments that you're in on a day-to-day basis, like your life, your environment every day. So, like I shared with you, is writing down your goals at the beginning of each morning is key. Keep what you want in front of you for your life. That way you stay focused. Confident people are focused. That's a definite takeaway we can have. Think of somebody you're confident. Are they focused? More than likely they're focused. Write down your goals every morning, and then the night before, every day, write down your agenda for the next day. Plan your day the night before, because most people who do this, they write down their goals every morning and they have their agenda written out for that day already. They're already hitting the ground running. They're like, yes, I know what I got to do. This is what I got to do. And they start shooting right toward their responsibilities. So this is a person that's totally in line with their target, right? That's my little drawing of a target there. But this is someone who's moving quickly and confidently in the direction of where they want to go. Someone who does this each and every day. Whereas a person who doesn't have clear written goals for their life and they don't have an agenda for each day, they're just like this. I'm going to go over here, I'm going to go over here, I don't really know what I'm doing. Maybe I'll go to the vending machine and over here and then over here. They're just doing stuff, and it's just living life randomly. So how much confidence are they? They're probably going to be walking around like this. I'm just going to go over here. It's a completely different person. So when people see a person, they're like, wow, they're so confident. They look like they've got so much direction. Looks like they're really put together. They're really nicely dressed. Wow, look at the way that they carry themselves. That's because they're busy. They've got a lot of stuff to do, and they're trying to get their agenda done as quickly as they can and efficiently as they can. And it looks like they're moving directly toward their goal because they are. So they're living completely different, in a completely different way from someone down here who is not going to be projecting a lot of confidence because they're not really living in in a way where they're controlling their environment. They're living in a reactive way to their environment, whereas this person who could get caught up in all this over here is going straight toward their goal. This person is in active control of their life. So confidence, a lot of people say, that person looks like they're totally in control. If you want to be in control of your life and your environment and your situations and your body, these are things that you need to do. And this is what can give you more confidence. So this is what environment is all about. Are you being controlled by your environment? And this person down here, we could elaborate on this, this person, they got a phone call over here, and then this person asked them to do that. And they're just getting totally controlled by their environment and living in a reactive way, whereas this person over here has full control over their life. And maybe they'll get a phone call or something and have to go answer that. But then they're right back to their agenda and getting their goals done. And the agenda resonates with their goals. Their agenda is daily steps to get to those long-term goals. So these are things that you can do to start becoming more confident. And I recommend having a definite chief purpose for your life. This is out of the book Think and Grow Rich, but if you have a clear overarching goal and a purpose, you're going to get there. What is the purpose of your life? And you can look at a lot of people like Jack Canfield, Brian Tracy, Tony Robbins, even the famous martial artist Bruce Lee. He had a definite chief purpose for his life, which was his biggest goal. It was to become the highest paid martial artist actor in the world. And he did. He made, I think it was about $10 million for a movie. The actual book that he wrote his definite chief purpose in is on display at Planet Hollywood in one of their locations. I think it's New York City. So having control over your environment on a daily basis is what also births confidence. Because, again, this isn't a silver bullet, you're going to become confident from just doing this one thing and then it's taken care of for the rest of your life. Now, this is a daily practice. This is a daily practice. And you got to be deliberate with it. And I've seen people who retire from professional sports sometimes, and you look at them and I'm not going to name any names, but you see that they were in the game and all of a sudden you see them start to lose muscle and you see them on TV and they're not as confident as they were, and you're like, wow, like they stepped aside and they haven't been training and they haven't been putting it all in and they haven't been driving and grinding. And it takes its toll. It has its effect. And so this is a daily practice, a daily ritual. So you've got to get ritualistic about this, and the same thing with your mind. So people meditate daily. Oprah does it daily. When it comes to the body, sports athletes and lots of CEOs I know train daily. The other thing when it comes to environment, we're talking about agenda here, comes down to time management. Okay, so if you're not in control of your time, then you're either running your day or the day is running you. And if the day is running you, you're going to feel stressed out and you're going to be, experiencing more cortisol in your body, which is a stress hormone. And it really comes down to you've got to have control over your time. Control over your time is control over your life, because your time is your life. And I know that sounds cliche, but most people don't have that good of time management skills. When it comes to somebody like CEO of Amazon or the vice presidents at Amazon or Nike or Sony or Boeing that I've spoken with, they have secretaries, okay? And I know you're probably saying, well, I don't have a secretary, Steve. Well, that's okay. But what they do is these secretaries chunk out their day in 30-minute chunks to an hour chunk. Okay? And this is a Rockefeller habit, but all CEOs and vice presidents of Fortune 500 companies operate in this capacity. So I'll just put up here CEOs and VPs. Fortune 500. The highest paid people in the world. This is how they run their life, is every activity that they do is on a schedule. They are on a schedule could be either from 8 to 9 all the way to 6 p.m. And they do not go outside of this schedule ever. Unless one of these appointments drop through, and then they're going to fill this time with either checking emails, responding to emails. Maybe they'll go out and grab a bite to eat, check in with their boss, check in with one of their fellow VPs. But they go through their day in a very systematic way. This is how their secretary sets up their day, and each piece of time throughout that day is dedicated towards something. And they do not have 2 hours of downtime, 1 hour of downtime. Every single time is blocked off to a meaningful activity. Okay? So every ounce of time needs to be dedicated towards something meaningful, to produce results, if you can see this. Okay, so that's how they use their time. And I can sit here and go and fill these in and everything, but they're blocking up all of their time with meaningful activity that's going to produce results. They're not activity-oriented people, they're results-oriented people. And when you start controlling your time, you're going to start getting progress, okay? You're going to start producing results and getting progress, okay? Now, a lot of interviews and going in and speaking effectively in front of people also has to do with preparation. And I've touched on a number of different things here, but once you start preparing and you start living in a different way than you're living now, you're going to start becoming more confident. And you have to put yourself in the situations where you can practice this. And it may have to be, you may have to crash and burn. If you're going into a job interview and this is your first one, it's going to take a couple of those to just get used to it. Allow yourself to get used to it. I know a lot of people have gone into interviews and gone up, speak in front of executive boards, and they didn't do that great. But it was practice, and you've got to get in that practice to get to where you want to go. And it's going to take, some crashing the plane, metaphorically speaking, to get good at it. And even pilots, they practice at flight simulators. I don't know one pilot who got up and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm totally confident, I'm totally ready, I know everything." No, when you hear a pilot come on American Airlines and you're flying across the Atlantic, and they come on with that deep baritone. Typically, those guys have been in the military prior to that and flew in the military, and they've spent about 10, 20 years flying commercial airlines. So that's why they have that level of confidence. Whatever you want to become more confident in, you've got to practice it. And it's the practice I'll put repeated, whatever you're trying to get good at. Repeated practice is going to give you results over time. Anything that you want to get good at, you're going to have to be deliberate about it and practice it. And you know what? One of the biggest things, I've flown around the world. I've been to a lot of different places. I've been to some places that I haven't really been that comfortable in. Different parts of Asia, and I was in Indonesia, which is an all-Muslim country. As a white American, I was unsure about that. But I said, you know what, I'm going to go anyway, because I know the news makes up a lot of stories about that. And I don't think that's entirely true of Indonesia. I think I'll probably be safe there. And so I was really good about reading up and preparing for that. But I went there and I go, you know what? I'm going to feel the fear and do it anyway. I'm not going to let fear stop me from getting on the plane. I'm not going to let fear stop me from going about the business that I need to do in that country. And so that's what you can do for yourself, is feel it, but do it anyway. So feel the fear and do it anyway. Because you know what? You don't have to be confident all the time in your life. There's other emotions and other attitudes that you need to bring into situations, like authenticity, empathy, humility. Because if I'm sitting across the table from somebody who's sitting there and they're telling me something sensitive about their life, a personal situation that they just went through that was not so good, and they're sharing a sensitive part of their life with me, am I going to want to come in and be really confident, or am I going to want to be more empathetic and show some understanding? And we can add that to the list here. Because there's a time, knowing when to put on your confidence is important. If I'm in that situation, dynamic where someone just recently lost their job and they need me to help them with some coaching and help them put their life back together, am I going to want to come in with this big bravado? And no, I'm going to want to come in with more empathy, more understanding, and compassion for that person. So part of being confident is knowing when to be confident, having control over that. Confidence is strength under control, and that's really what it is. And you wanna be real about it too, because there's a lot of people who put on this confident front, and they're not authentic with it. And so you really want to be authentic with who you are too. And I didn't learn this till later on in life, but you want to be authentic with people too, because some people try to be so confident they're just not being themselves anymore. And that's a turnoff to people, whether it's in business or whether it's in personal life. And so you really want to keep it authentic with people. And I would really encourage you to treat authenticity just as important as confidence. But I've given you a lot of tips here on confidence. One of the last things I'll share with you here is, at the end of the day, and this is a technique that I got from one of the mental fitness coaches from the St. Louis Cardinals baseball team. He was the head mental fitness coach for the team when they won the World Series back in 2006. And this is what he had the team do. I'll put this up here. It's daily visualization. And visualization is important. A lot of athletes do this. A lot of Olympians do it to get to where they want to go. And actor Jim Carrey was very big on this when he was still very young in his career. He practiced visualization to basically visualize where he wanted to be in the future and who he wanted to be in the future, what he wanted to look like in the future. And that's who he became. So daily visualization, this is what all the St. Louis Cardinals players did. They would see themselves batting effectively and hitting the ball and connecting with the ball and hitting those home runs and being in control and being confident at the plate. And so they did that. So this is highly effective. I think Yale did a study on this, and they showed that the visualization actually allowed people in professional sports to play with, I forget the statistic, I'm trying to remember right now, but I think it's with 50 to 60% more accuracy. There was a study done on this. It was a 50 to 60% performance improvement. So in the body does not know the difference, and the mind does not know the difference between what is visualized and actually what is real and what's taking place. That's why a lot of people, when they're dreaming and going through a visualization, they wake up, especially if it's a bad dream, like, oh my God, I felt like I was there, oh my God. And they're like, oh, thank God I woke up, because it seems so real. So if you can practice whatever it is you want to become more confident at in that type of environment, when and I'm not saying go to sleep and you're saying, how do I? Steve, you're talking about controlling my dreams. No, I'm talking about taking 10 minutes to 15 minutes, lie down in bed or on your couch, or wherever you've got a place to relax and it's quiet, and visualize what it is you want to be more confident in. Visualize yourself performing well in that environment, in that aspect, and becoming that person who you want to be. Okay? see yourself performing well. Not put great, that's really what I mean. See yourself performing at your absolute best, because that will get you feeling those feelings. And if you can feel those feelings in advance, you're much more likely to do better in your interview. And if you've pictured yourself in that environment, doing those interviews or doing that presentation or speaking with that person, and you've gone over it in your head and you've seen it go really well, when you finally get there, it's almost like you practiced for it. So you're trying to get that practice. Again, this is a tool of Major League Baseball players, professional athletes, singers, Hollywood actors. It's daily visualization. What I would also encourage you to do at the end of each day, take time, and I'll put this up on here. I call this a daily, it's called a daily recap. Take about 2 minutes, this just takes 2 minutes, and ask yourself, what did I do great at today? And come up with 5 things. Because most people go through the day and they don't kind of reflect on the things that they did good at. And if you don't reflect on the things that you did good at, the mind has this funny way of just kind of saying, meh, today was just kind of meh, or you're just kind of meh. But if you take deliberate action, you know what? I did a great job taking care of my kids today. I spent time with them for an hour, and I really invested my time and energy and focus into them 100%. Today I did an all-star job with helping out Bob at the office with this presentation that he had coming up. He told me that this was one of the most meaningful things that anyone's ever done for him. Today I also showed up an hour to work early. That was fantastic. I was dressed to the nines today. That's another thing too, is if you dress great, you'll feel more confident. I'll go to that in a second. And then whatever the 5th thing is, but doing a daily recap of the things that you did great at is going to make you feel better about you. And that's what you want at the end of the day, is to feel good about yourself. Because if you feel good about yourself, people are gonna feel good about you too. If you don't feel good about yourself, are other people gonna feel good about you? The answer is rhetorical. The question's rhetorical, and so is the answer. So do the daily recap. What are 5 things that you did great at? And so the last thing I just want to talk about here is the way that you dress. People are going to treat you a certain way and expect certain things from you based on the way that you dress. And this morning, I just watched a conference. It was a tech conference, and there was a panel of people up on a stage, big audience, and 5 of the people up there at this tech conference were probably in their 40s and 50s, and there was a younger person up there in their 30s from Facebook. And the guy from Facebook was just wearing a t-shirt and jeans, whereas the other 4 people on this panel up on the stage were wearing, a jacket. I think one guy was wearing a tie with a jacket. The other ladies were dressed in some nice dresses. And this guy from Facebook was up there. Was a product manager for the company. He was just sitting and he was kind of nervous. He was kind of jittering around and everything. And I go, this guy is not comfortable because he's not dressed for the occasion. I go, how silly is this? I know Facebook has a very relaxed culture, and people go to work every day like Mark Zuckerberg in a t-shirt and jeans. But this guy's up on stage, and he's trying to speak, and he wasn't that effective at conveying his message because he didn't feel confident, and it was solely based on the way that he was dressed. He chose to put on the Facebook culture and go out, and it didn't work for him. Even though he was wearing what they wear on The Office, and he's a part of Facebook, one of the biggest companies in the world, he could not effectively be confident on that stage when he felt out of place. So a big part of this is dressing the part. If you look nice and you like the way that you're dressed, you're going to be more confident. You're going to like the way that you feel. You're going to like the way that you look, and you're going to be more confident in the situations that you go into. That's why people in the military wear a uniform. That's why the police wear a uniform, because they get that level of respect. They get that feeling of confidence. Same thing goes with NBA players, baseball players. They put on a uniform because all ditto with pilots. And there's been psychological studies done on the way that people respond to a person in a uniform. And it's this person who's wearing the uniform is definitely almost always perceived as an authority figure. And that's why people, especially executives, wear suits and ties. because they're perceived as more confident. Their message is going to be more believable, and people are going to give them more admiration, respect, and they're going to be perceived as being smarter and perhaps more in control when they're in the different environments that they're in. And you could just sit there, and then when I put on a suit, I definitely recognize this. When I go into a Starbucks and I'm wearing a suit and tie and I'm dressed up and I look great, people sit there and say, well, why didn't you go ahead of me? You look really busy. And I go, wow, that makes me feel good. Let be honest with you. That makes me feel good. I'm like, great. I feel good about myself. Not because someone sat there and said, let me go ahead, but, people recognize you as being more important. That feeds people's egos, I'll be honest with you. And I'm not saying, I'm an egomaniac, but what I'm saying is you get more respect from people, which will help you feel more confident by dressing for the part. So as opposed to if I went into a Starbucks and I'm wearing Umbros and a white shirt, and I've got a grass stain on my shirt because I was just playing an intense soccer match, and I sat there and I went up with the same person and say, go right ahead. No. They'd be like, who's this bum? Probably. Even though I just got done playing soccer and I was sweating and that kind of thing. But a lot of the way that people treat you is dependent upon the way that you dress too, going back to taking care of your body. So take care of your hair, take care of your appearance. Take the time to set your clothes out the night before so that you can get dressed, get ready, everything is calm. Goes back to time management, managing your day, managing your environment. So these are some of the most effective ways that I've found to be confident. One of the other ones I just want to share with you is saying no, learning how to say no. If you've got a really crazy busy day, and I don't mean this, and just start saying no to people and practicing this. No. If you have a very busy schedule and someone's asking you to do something and you simply don't have the time and it's a low priority, say no to it. Too many times people say yes, 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 I'll do this, or yes to every idea that they get. Oh, yes, yes, yes. You got to learn how to say no. And sometimes that's to preserve your own schedules, preserve your own sanity, preserve your own time. Saying no. You need to be able to filter and distinguish between high priority and high value tasks and low value tasks. Saying no to certain things is important. For instance, if you've got, something very important, let's say with your spouse, at say engagement dinner, and someone asks you and says, hey, listen, can you help me out with this paper or help me out with this project that we're working on? I really need the help on it. And you're like, listen, you just came to me 5 minutes before I'm ready to walk out the office to an engagement anniversary or a wedding anniversary I had with my anniversary with my wife. No, I can't do that. I'm sorry. Catch me or send me an email. Let's set something up. No, I got to go. Good luck on that. That's it. Because you've got to guard your time. You got to guard your life. You got to prune your life. Now, one of the last things I want to touch on is just going back to the mind for a second. And then this will be the end of this video here. But this is huge and this is crucial when it comes to mind. And I wish I would have seen this video that I'm doing right now back when I was 18, because this would have definitely helped me out. And I'll probably still watch this video when I need it. I'm making this video for myself as well as for everyone else out there. Affirmation. So I'll be honest with you, and I think everybody experiences this. It's easy to get into a mental funk sometimes. If you wake up in the morning, you're like, oh, I didn't sleep last night. I drank too much water. Blah blah blah. I had to get up. Or, there was that, lightning storm last night. I only slept for about 5 hours, 6 hours on and off. It's easy to be driving and you can start getting into like a mental funk. And you're like, and you start thinking different thoughts and your mind can take you back to different times and you're thinking about this person or that person or whatever. So what I'm talking about here is mental distractions. In any shape or form. It could be about yourself, could be about other people. And there's feelings associated with images that we get in our minds and everything like that. But what I like to do, if I'm not in the mental space that I want to be, and there can be dialogue going through my mind that I don't like, something like that, which can affect your ability to stay positive, be happy, be confident, and all these different things, and act certain of what's taking place, or go through your day with certainty and in a clear headspace. I like to talk out loud, and what I do is I'll do my incantations or my affirmations. Tony Robbins and Joel Osteen. Most people know who Tony Robbins is, multi-billionaire. Joel Osteen, definitely the biggest evangelical speaker in the world right now. Both men are incredibly successful, New York Times best-selling authors. Both of them do this, and they just basically talk to themselves and say something along the lines of, I am strong, I am powerful, I am bold, today I'm going to crush it, I feel highly motivated, I feel strong, I feel powerful, I feel like today is going to be great, I've got all the strength and all the talent and all the skills I need to handle what I need to do today. This day is going to be fantastic. I've been blessed with so much. I'm incredibly grateful for number 1, number 2, and number 3. And so basically they start talking on the outside to get themselves into a certain state of mind. Because if you're just listening to what's going on in here sometimes, that can really just get you distracted and not in the state that you want to be. So affirmations can put you in a state, which is what a lot of people are after, is a confident state, okay? And so affirmations are incantations, just talking to yourself on the outside, saying so many good things about yourself, so many good things about your day, all these things that you're grateful for. And I'm trying to remember what Tony Robbins' incantation is. He goes, I'm trying to come up with it. It's like, God's wisdom is flowing into me now, and I can do all things through God because I am one with Him and He is one with me. I'm incredibly powerful. And he goes into this whole thing to pump himself up. And the entire time that he's doing it, he's just like moving his hands and he's going like this. I command myself to put on confidence and the strength to influence people and motivate people and change people's lives. I command myself to do these things now. And he's moving his body and he's getting himself into this state of confidence. And that's kind of the opposite of what a lot of people do. They'll be driving down the road and they're like, I'm so miserable. Like, I don't even want to go into the office today. And you pull up alongside these people in the car and they're just like, they're like, it's almost like they're half-baked because they don't even want to, they're just listening to what's going on in their head. Whereas opposed to doing incantations and affirmations can put you in a state of power, positivity, happiness, certainty, gratitude, and boom, just cut through all of that mental noise that a lot of people get tuned into in the morning. So this is one thing that you can definitely do. I do this daily, especially when I'm in the shower. I'm like, I feel good. I name off out loud the 10 things that I'm grateful for that I've got going on in my life right now. And that way I just cancel this out. I'm like, I'm not even going to do that. And I get into a good mental state. So that's something that can get you feeling more positive, confident, certain, and grateful. Gratitude is a very powerful feeling. If you're feeling a great sense of gratitude in your chest and your heart, when you start your day, it's going to go that much better, right? And if you can carry that type of energy and that kind of state into your daily activities, you're going to be more effective. And that's really some of the tips that I have for you and the strategies to be more effective in your life. If you do these, you're going to be much more effective as far as a communicator and whatever you're doing. You're going to be that much more confident, and it's going to improve the quality of your life. That's just the bottom line of this video. So this is a daily practice. If you do this for one day and then you let your life go, back into the breeze, it's not going to help you. This is something that you have to do daily. And for some people, this maybe you're already great at structuring your day. Maybe you're not taking the best care of your body, or maybe you can start meditating. Maybe you just get one or two pieces of great information from this, or maybe you're getting a bunch. But if you start incorporating these things into your life and you make it a daily practice between working out, taking care of your body, taking care of your mind, being more in control of your time and your environment, that will help you out. And so I hope that this has been helpful to you in terms of being more confident, developing that type of core confidence. Again, just like athletes who let their bodies go once they retire. You've got to do this every day. You've got to be in it. Confidence is not just a one-time deal, you're done. It's a daily way of living. So good luck to you, and put your questions down in the comment section below. Let us know what you think of this video, and you can subscribe to our channel by clicking the button below as well. And I hope this helps you out. Until next time, good luck.